Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I'd like to welcome you to YoungMartin'sReels. Today's project is going to be this Abumatic. It appears to be a 276I. Have never seen this one before. Made in China. And we're going to see about taking this bad boy down and see what we can do with it. I've had it for about a month and a half, I think. Ken brought this one in, so we're going to see what we can do with it. Let's do a quick ops check, see what we got. See if it even works. Well, it seems to wind. Okay. That part seems to work okay. Don't know if the drag works or not. All right, well, so far it seems to be functional, so let's go ahead and take the cover off. And, well, that's an interesting looking nut. Okay. Let's see if we can unscrew that. There we go. I think I'm going to put that one into some vinegar and see if we can get that clean off of there. Okay, the brake ring on the front of this is very short and shallow, but it seems to be all intact. I'm going to pop that up and off. And, oh, okay. This might be, very well be one of the nastiest. Oh, look at all that rust in there. This one's going to go in the vinegar as well. And see, does it function okay? Okay, that one does. That one does. Okay, it's just got rust in it. All right, that's going to go in the vinegar tank. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, looks like we got some corrosion up under here. Right there. Yeah, kind of all the way around. I'm going to have to get all that line off of there just to see how much corrosion we've got under it. All right, let's go ahead and take off the E-clip, holding it in place. Okay, there's the E-clip off. That's in good shape. It just needs to be wiped off. Here is the washer, the drag washer, and the friction drag washer. All right, let's take off the spool. Now, the spool does appear to be kind of eat up along up inside there. I'm going to strip all the line off of this and put it in vinegar, and we'll see how that turns out. I'm not sure what we've got there. All right, now, oh, look at this. The lower drag washer is held in place by this sleeve. It fits over top of the whole thing. I've never seen that before on a reel. So that's a new feature. Let's take that off. And now we've got a drag washer again. Okay. And this one. And then we've got the round. This is, okay, if you look at this, this is the wavy washer. It goes on the very bottom. And then on top of that, we've got our drag ring that will screw in and out, which moves all of that up and down. All right. So it's got all of that. Let's see what we can do from here. Let's take this screw out. It looks like it's crooked. It doesn't look like it's in there straight. Okay. Let's take that out. That's a cap. Here's a screw. And that's tight. Does that wobble in and out like that? A little bit. Oh, there's our drag adjuster. Okay, this looks like it could stand to be shimmed up a little bit. Now, before I finish taking it apart, I want to see. Okay, it winds much smoother if I don't push in. If I bring it out a little bit. So this main gear is going to need to be shimmed to the right. So I'm going to need to put some kind of a shim on the left-hand side of it to push it over to the right a little bit. We don't want to shim it left, because if it does, it causes a gear grind. So if we pull it back this way, there is no gear grind. So that's what we're going to want. All right, let's go ahead now and take that screw out. But it is shy, at least a little bit of shim. Okay, there goes that screw. There goes the handle. Okay. And all right. I believe we're going to have to take out these 3 screws. I think that one just holds this clicker in. So let's try to get the other 3 out. Okay, with those 3 screws out, let's see if I can pull them out. There's 1. That's a long screw. 2. That's a long screw. 3. Okay, all 3 of them are the same. Set those together over here. Now this should pull, well, at least the back will come off. Okay, that's what holds that in. All right. Now what do we got? Okay. All right, this appears to be held in. See this wobble right there? Okay, now if you look very closely, right over here, you'll see an E-clip right there that's holding that. And I think what we're going to need to do is put a little shim on the other side of that E-clip. Yeah, there's room enough there for 2 shim washers, plus be able to tighten it down without binding it. Okay, so we're going to be putting 2 shim washers. Those are too big, but they look very about the right thickness. Okay, we're going to take these 4 screws out now. Set those 2 over there. I'm going to kind of pry up on this a little bit and see if this will pop up and out. The other side does, but this side doesn't. I wonder why. It's fitting up inside over here. There we go. It's got the E-clip out. Okay, now hopefully this will shift forward enough to be able to come up and out. So close. There, finally. Well, maybe, hopefully it all is going to go back in much easier. Okay, let's try to push this bearing out, because it obviously is going to need to be cleaned. All right. So that's got all of this out. Let's see what we've got. Let's see how our buildup goes here. Okay, we've got this guy here. And I believe that this is a bushing inside this. It is. There's a bushing on the inside of this and a shim washer. Okay. So this is the shim for the gear side. Let's take this one off and let's see what we got. Oh. That is the anti-reverse on the other side. That's what this big beast here is. But it's really dirty inside. So we've got to do some cleanup in there. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to zoom in and let you see. This is an anti-reverse clutch. It goes inside here. And let's see if it will slide out. I believe it will. Although it doesn't want to, so I think we're going to leave it in there. All right. Now on there, there's a sleeve right here. That's what this anti-reverse clutch is going to ride on. Right there. See, it will turn this way, but it will not back up. At least it's not supposed to. And that's going to need to be cleaned some because it's sticky. All right. All right, I'm going to go to cleaning all these parts. Everything is completely disassembled now. I'm going to go cleaning these parts and see if we can't see about getting this thing back together again. Okay, here's the spool, and I've got the line off of it now, and we can get a good look at it. Hopefully that's just surface corrosion and it's not pitted. But we're going to put it into some vinegar, crank up the heater, and turn it on and see what happens with these two pieces. Okay, this is going to be a little entertaining as we go about trying to figure out how to put all this back. And I just put that in the wrong place. Let's see here. Yeah. This shim washer I want to put in on this side over here. Like so. Hopefully that will shim that over away from that gear just a little bit. Remove a little bit of the gear wine out of it. Okay, we have the bearing, which is going back into the body right here, and we're going to stick that back in there like that, and we're going to oil it up good. Okay, we're going to be putting this pinion gear back in, I hope, and we're going to try our best to put it back in right after we've put the crankshaft in. Let's go ahead and grease it up a little bit so I don't forget later. Okay, we're going to set that down over here. And this is our crankshaft that we've got to try to put in. And it's going to go in like this. This is the direction it goes in. And I believe that it came out like that, where it hooks in going up that way. All right, now this side over here is the one with the anti-reverse built into it. Okay, and it runs like that. And it will turn that way, but it won't allow it to come back. Now, I did take this apart and clean it and grease it just a little bit up inside there. A lot of people tell you can't use grease on anti-reverse gears. I find that when they're like this one, where they're all just about worn out, some of the fingers are broke off, that you kind of need a little grease in there to make it perform as it's supposed to. All right, the other one is going to go in over here on this side, like so. And we've got to try to get this back in there with this on it, like so. Okay, so we're going to put some grease on here, like this. Okay, I'm going to slide this on. These pliers out of the way. Okay, this is going to come in this way, and it's got to be able to make this turn, and that's where things got complicated before, because it really wasn't hardly able to make this turn to go in here like it needs to be with this on here. If you take this off, then of course it goes right in like that. Okay, so what if, no, it's got to go in this way, like so. I guess I could leave that shim out over here, put it in later. Okay, I swear it has me wondering if this really isn't some kind of a piece that will come out. Let's try it in this set. Oh, well, look at there. Those really are. I thought they were fake. Look at what I just found. Okay, let's get this out of here. And let's go ahead and take these out. And 3. And now look at there. That pops right out. Now, you're willing to bet this guy will drop right in. Well, not quite. Okay, so let's take the one out on the other side too. All right, now with both sides out, surely we can set this right in. Well, it certainly doesn't just sit right in. Kind of has to be coerced. All right. Now that we've got it running across, we should be able to set these back in. Okay. Look at that. Why did you see that? It went right in that time. No force required. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this side. That's what was wrong. No force required. It just slid right in. And now it doesn't want to do that. There we go. Right in. Okay. Let's put the screws back in. This might be a well-built, well-designed reel, but it is certainly not designed for ease of maintenance. Of course, it helps to know how it comes apart too. Oh, I might have messed up, and I put the screws back in again, and I still don't have the pinion back in. Let's see if I can put it in with it out. Let's try. There we go. I got all those put back in. Let's go ahead, and just in case it was off camera, I put all of these screws back in these side plates and got them remounted. And now I'm going to put some grease on this main gear, get it rotated around. Now we're going to install the axle shaft, and it doesn't need to be greased or anything else except right here at the very front. We'll oil it because it's going to be riding on that bearing that we cleaned earlier. So it slides through here. It's got to get into that, there we go, into that pinion gear. There we go, like that. Okay. Now what needs to happen is this gear's got to go, or spring has got to go back on. And this is not a wimpy little spring that they've got in here. This thing's pretty serious. But you don't have to compress it far before you're ready to put on the E-clip. So let's see about pushing this down and getting that E-clip installed. Okay, so far that's not working. Let's see if we can bring the flat around. There's the flat. Okay. Okay. I think we're going to use our hemostats for this job. You've seen me do it before on other jobs. Okay, we're going to slide them down past the little lip, and then we'll take our E-clip and slip it on. There we go. Now remove my hemostats and we're ready to go. All right, that's got that back together. Let's go ahead, add some grease to that spring because it's going to be pushed in and out hundreds of times. All right, that's got all of that back together. And I believe that we're ready to put the back on. Now, before we do that, we're going to put just a dab of grease right on the end of it where that's going to ride against the axle shaft. And let's see, this way. Okay, slides in. Up. Oh, I got another part to put in first. It's going to be this guy. That's your drag adjuster. Slide that in. Slide these in. Now you don't have a big hole there. And we're ready to put these 3 screws back in. Okay, that works well. We're going to now slide in our drag adjuster. It fits into that keyway in the back, like that. And then we're going to set the spring down. This ring's just going to fall down on here like this. And then let's go ahead and adjust it and get it to where it adjusts up and down. And once we get it all the way, you can hear, see this clicker right here? That's the one you're going to hear when you're adjusting the drag. Okay, push down on this. Let's get it to go around, and it's going to hit a stopping point. And it doesn't seem to want to hit a stopping point. Why not? Oh, because we're going the wrong way. We're getting max. We want to go the other way. There we go. Once we go negative, which is taking this clockwise, it will hit a point where it will stop. There we go. Then we're going to put in the wavy washer, like so. We're going to put in this keyed washer. Got the little keyway on it right there. Slide that down. Then we're going to put on the Teflon washer, and these don't need any lubrication. They're good just like they are. Now it's time to go see what happened with the spool. I've got it in the vinegar. Okay, a trip into the vinegar seemed to have done it a lot of good. It's not perfect, but it is functional, I believe. Let's spray a little WD-40 in here. And let's run a little Scotch-Brite inside it. See how it feels. The Scotch-Brite doesn't seem to be catching. Okay. I think the spool cleaned up okay. I've seen worse, that's for sure. Okay, we're ready for the spool to go on. Let's go ahead and slide it down. There's our clicker. Now, before we do that, remember it's got this sleeve. And like I said, I've never seen this sleeve on any other reel before. Where you put this one set of drag washers on, then a sleeve goes in. It's like an adapter to make this spool fit properly. Okay, it's almost like they took it from another reel or something to make it fit over here. Okay, then we're going to slide on this Teflon drag washer and this steel drag washer, and then we're ready to snap this E-clip back in. Like that. Now this guy, he took some serious abuse. We're going to spray it with some WD-40 as well, just to add a little extra protection in there. Let's go ahead and run the brush around. I want to make sure that stuff gets into everything. Okay, we're going to wipe it off. And I'm going to come back and put a very thin coat of grease on everything in here just to help preserve it so that it's not going to corrode up like that again, I hope. And I'm going to take my little piece of Scotch-Brite and hit this edge. I would actually be very happy to have a replacement rotor for this one, but I don't. So that's going to have to do. I'm going to set this back in place. And that brings me back to what I had forgotten, which was this was supposed to go in the vinegar as well. Tell you what, let's try to do. Let's try to hold on to it for just a second and see if we can spray it and hit it with the wire brush enough to clean it up. And I think it's going to work just fine without having to go tank it. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. A lot better. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to push in the button and screw this on. So far, so good. Okay, when it rotates, it drops down. That's with a little bit of help. So let's now put the handle on, set our screw in the side, and screw this down. Okay. Let's see about setting this cap back in place. And screw it down. There we go. Put the cover on. There we go. And let's back it out just a little bit. Let's see what we got. Okay, when we drag, there's the drag adjust. Okay, that's working fine. Okay, there you have the Abumatic 726I spincast reel, and it definitely is a different little character. I'm thinking about doing this video again, and this time, now that I know how it comes apart and goes together, creating actual service video for it, and just leaving this as a discovery video. But if someone was really determined to take one of these and service it and make it their reel, then I think they can probably make it through this video and make it work. Anyway, I guess I'll try to dub out the parts that are too horrendously bad about putting it together and try to get it where it's an educational thing instead. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Tell me what you didn't like about it. And for now, that's Rick Stivers of the YoungMartin'sReels, signing out.